Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bumblebee Corner. My name is Lisa. So I've spent the last month trying to organize my space, just trying to clean it up and get, use up what I have, but I can't stop thrifting. I can't stop sourcing. That's like my favorite thing to do. So I'm just going to do some random videos within the next month of just thrift flips as I just have a box here or a bin, and as I find stuff that I want to flip, I throw it in there. So I'm just going to kind of try to do just a couple flips here and there, upcycles, show you what I'm doing. And for this video, I did use a product that I've never used before, and I really, really liked it. So I'm thinking I'm going to be using it a lot. So I hope you'll come along with me as I show you these little random things that I upcycled, and let's just jump right into it. So for my first project today, I am going to use, this was just like a wood sign that had, I don't remember what was painted on it, but I sanded all that off. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint this with, I'm just using a Waverly paint. It's in the color Plaster because I'm going to be decoupaging on this board. And when you decoupage, you want a very light background. It helps the decoupage paper pop a little bit more. The paper I'm using today is pretty thick, so I probably maybe wouldn't have had to do this, but I did it anyway just to be sure. So let me go ahead and get this painted, and I'll let it dry, and then we'll come back and we'll get to decoupaging. All right, so I got that all painted. I did do 2 coats and let it dry completely. And now I'm just gonna go in, and I'm actually using the Fusion Decoupage and Transfer Gel just because this is a really heavy paper, and the transfer gel it's a little bit thicker. So I just went ahead and I kind of cut it out to fit on there with just a little bit of overhang, because I know I've done it a million times. If I try to cut something down exact, I always end up too short. So I try to always be able to leave a little overhang just to be safe. So I'm just going to get it on here positioned where I want it. And then I'm going to start applying it to the board. So I lift back just the very top just to kind of do a transfer or a starter strip, sorry. And I am going to go ahead and I misted the paper just to kind of stretch those fibers. It just kind of helps with wrinkling and whatnot. So like I said, I'm just going to apply a good coat of the transfer gel, and I smooth it out the best I can. And then I'm just going to go over the top and lay it down. And just with my brush, I'm just going to smooth out any wrinkles. And like I said, this paper was pretty heavy. I'm not even exactly sure where I got it from. I've had it for quite a while. As I was organizing, I came across it, and I thought it would just be perfect on this board. So I just keep working my way down, putting a layer of the transfer gel on the board, and then going over it over the top just to kind of seal it in. And I do go heavy on the edges because I want to make sure it's in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish up this last piece. And then I'm going to set it aside to let it dry completely. And now that it's all dry, I'm just going to take my finger sander, and as always in a downward motion, I'm going to go all around the edges. This just gives it a really nice clean edge. And again, you want to make sure you're going down so that you don't lift up the paper or take a chance of tearing it. So I'm just going to go all the way around the edge. And I believe I'm using like a 180 grit on this. And I'm just going around all the way around. All right, so I do have, it's all dry. I sanded off all the excess, but there were like those little ridges, the separations in the boards. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to kind of go through and cut like where those grooves were. I was going to try to use my ruler, but it just worked better doing it freehand. I just thought the ruler would make it a little bit easier, but it didn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut everywhere those grooves were. I really like this paper. I wish I could remember where I got it from. And then since I did that, I'm going to take that transfer gel and I'm just going to kind of go a little heavy in those grooves just to make sure that paper is sealed down and it's not going to lift up. So I just go heavy, get into all those little grooves, and I do go around the edges again just to make sure everything is down. So let me go ahead and finish this. You're going to want to make sure you stay until the end because that's when I'll give you the final look of all the projects that I did. But I am really, really liking how this turned out. And I wish I could remember where I got this paper because I really like it. For this next project, I wanted to use these little nests that I had, and I believe I bought there was a whole bunch of these at an estate sale. But I really don't like how it has this white that just kind of looks like snow. And for spring, I obviously did not want that look. So I looked through my paints and I came up with, I used the weathered wood and I just kind of watered it down a little bit and I just kind of dabbed all over where that white, like the snowy look was, just to kind of dull it down, cover that up, and just kind of randomly went over the rest of the nest just to kind of give it a little cohesive look. So I'm going to go ahead. I have 2 of these nests that I'm going to do. Just, I don't know, what do you think? Or give me some other ideas of what I could have done or what I could use to kind of cover up this snowy look just to make it look more springy. All right, so now I wanted to upcycle this little bird. It's just like a little ceramic bird. And I believe I got these off of Amazon. So I will leave a link to anything I used, like from Amazon. I will leave the links in the description of the video. But I just went ahead. It was really shiny. And I had that plaster, the Waverly paint sitting next to me. So I just did a coat of that on the bird just to kind of dull it down a little bit. So the my next step would stick better. And I'm going to show you. I'm really excited. This is when I use the brand new product that I've never used before. And now that that's all dry, I'm going to go ahead, and I wanted a nice spring color. So I decided to use Prom Queen, which is a DIY. It's a like a chalk clay based paint, and it's like an all natural paint. So I just went ahead and I gave it only really needed one coat, so that was all I did for this step. So I'm going to go ahead and get this painted, and then we'll come back for step number 2. And while the bird is finishing drying up, I just decided to add some of this moss to this one nest. I just thought that would give it like a more natural nest look. So I just used my hot glue gun and just put a little bit of glue in there and then added the moss. So on the bird, I wanted kind of like an old crackle type look. So I had this, it's by Dixie Belle. It's like a crackle. It says easily create an old and weathered look. So I'm just going to stir it up really, really well. And then I just went ahead and I just added one layer of this crackle on there. And it's just like a clear. But I just went ahead and added it all over the entire bird. And then I just set it aside because I had to let it sit for a few hours to make sure it was completely dry. All right, so now the next step is to add another layer of the paint. So thinking back, what I should have done was I should have used one color underneath the crackle medium and then put like a lighter, maybe a darker color and then a lighter color on top. But I didn't think to do that, so I'm using the same color, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and on top of that crackle medium, I'm doing another layer of the Prom Queen, and then I'm going to let that dry. I am absolutely loving how this bird is turning out. So for my last project today, I wanted to upcycle this little bunny. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a coat of, this is the weathered wood, because I'm going to use that crackle medium on this also. So I'm going to use the darker base. And I wanted to mention too, I did end up on the bird. I didn't get the video footage. I was looking for it and I don't know what happened to it. I did end up doing like a clear wax and then a little bit of white wax over the top of that. So let me go ahead and I'm going to get this little bunny all painted up and get him dry, and then we'll come back and add that crackle medium to him too. All right, so here's the little bunny and he's all dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add a coat of this crackle medium. And it says I'm going to read the directions. Apply 1 coat of the Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint of any color. And I ended up using a DIY paint. So that will be the color of the cracks. And then you apply 1 coat. Once that's dry, you apply a coat of the clear coat. And you want to let that dry completely. And then you go back over and you apply another coat of the top layer of paint that you want. So let me go ahead and get this painted up with this Dixie Belle crackle, and then we'll come back and watch the magic happen. All right, so he is all dry. I did let him sit overnight. just to make sure he was completely dry. So now I'm going to use the DIY paint in Prom Queen, and I'm just going to go ahead and do one even coat over the whole entire thing. And it's really amazing, before I even got him completely painted, that crackling process was already happening. So it was really cool to watch as I was finishing him up. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to finish him up, and then we'll come back. All right, so I'm just giving him some little touch-ups and some of the nooks and crannies that I missed. And this was so much fun to do, and I will definitely be using this product more. He is turning out so good. Just look at all that crackle goodness. All right, so here I'm applying the clear wax. I am applying it to the bird, and then I'm going to apply the clear wax to the bunny. Just getting all those little nooks and crannies and all those little cracks from the crackle medium. So I did the clear wax, so now I'm just going to go over the bird and the bunny with the white wax. So I just go over, I put a coat on the whole entire thing, and then I just take a towel or paper towel, whatever I have handy, and just wipe back all the excess, just so there's no clumps, and it always just like sticks in the little nooks and crannies, and it just gives it a great look. I'd love to know, do you think I should have used the dark wax, or do you like the white wax? Let me know in the comments what you think and what you would prefer. So I've got them all wiped back, and then we're going to show you the final look. What do you think? All right, guys, so that was some really quick upcycles. So if you're trying to clean out your own stash, I hope it gave you a little bit of inspiration. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I liked them all, but I really liked how that bunny and bird turned out. I love that crackle medium. This is what it is. It's by Dixie Belle, and I will definitely be using this more often. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.